Hello, my beautiful soul family. Welcome you all to my channel, The Mystical Hummingbird. I hope you're having a wonderful day today, this Sunday, this cloudy day. It's kind of cloudy out here. It doesn't look like rain, but it's quite cloudy and probably foggy. I'm really happy to be here with you today again this day, and I have a kind of a long little video today, and I hope that I can get all the information that I've gathered together and hope that I'm able to convey to you my deepest feelings about this. The title of this will be "The Truth Will Set You Free," and seek the authenticity of your heart. Okay? I've taken lots of notes. This way it's easier for me to stay focused and maintain my mind and, straight, because it's sometimes a little difficult for me. I'm so happy with our beautiful sunflowers. They're still doing so wonderful. There's nothing more beautiful than sunflowers. The bright yellow color and the millions of little tiny little seeds, and the birds get to eat later on. Okay, here we go. There's more in this universe than we can all fathom and feel compelled. And for days I've been thinking about how I'm going to put this together. I feel that we have all been asleep, many of us, me included. But even as I say this, I admit that part of me has been seeking the meaning of my existence since I was a tiny little girl. Because of what I have, because of what a nun mentioned when I used to go to nun school in South America, in Chile. I went to a private school, and there were nuns, and she was an Italian nun. She was my favorite. Her name was Sor Petronilla. It's a very unique name, Petronilla. I have never forgotten her name. She taught me about the ancient Rumi Persian poet and Sufi mystic known as Rumi, for his spiritual and love-themed poetry. One of the sayings that impacted me as a 10-year-old girl that I was at the time: I looked in temples, churches, and mosques, but I found the divine within my heart. In this one, I searched for myself and only found God. I searched for God and found myself. The universe is not outside of you. Look inside of yourself. Everything that you want, you already are. And this reminds me of the saying that Christ, Joshua said, "The kingdom of God is within you." So for years, I carried this concern, this restlessness of wanting to know and find who I was, what I was, why I was, and what was my role in this existence. I have had many spiritual experiences throughout my life, and although at times I questioned the veracity of the Creator, I never denied Him, her. For me, God is both a male and female presence, and I feel very deeply that Mother Earth, Pachamama, nature, is part of this God. And I cannot explain how I know this, but it's something, an innate feeling I have in my heart, and I've known this since I was little. And somehow I have known this, and even though I have had thousands and hundreds of questions, because I have been so inquisitive for so long, and I continue to be, because I want to know, I want to have answers. So it's a little bit how do I explain? For me, like I've mentioned before, God is a shapeshifter and of sorts, because I experience him in different ways. I feel very blessed to have this. It's a knowledge that I have since little, but I've only realized it till after the year 2000, when I've awoken, began to awake, and I have learned the language of the universe, the language of God. He sends me messages through dreams, through visions, through all types of avenues, through nature, through music, through books, through the TV, through people, and in the skies, and I mean everywhere. So, and because I have experienced him, her, mother, father, and I strongly feel that nature is the motherly side, the feminine side of God. For me, is Pachamama. And I feel she holds ancient knowledge, have seen her form in my dreams and visions, and I feel that this being is full of love and beauty. I now understand why the inquisitiveness, the hunger for knowledge, for wisdom, the curiosity for the understanding of my origins, and the presence of a creator in my life. The father, mother, I have dreamt about all of my life, that presence, both a lion and that beautiful ancient being that always appears as a giant in my dreams and visions, sometimes overwhelms me, yet brings me daily comfort. Now for me, the teaching of the Christ, the man that walked upon the earth and brought such a beautiful gospel of love, the man called Joshua of Nazareth, was later become Joshua the Christ, or Jesus the Christ. His teachings hold such great importance, a sacred importance, necessary, essential for our spiritual growth. In this, I'm not basing this on any religion. For if we look at any teachings that are noble, worthy, beautiful, that teach truth, enlightenment, and understanding of ourselves and of our origin, that help humanity become better, this I seek today and always. When he said the Father and I are one, what did he mean with that? For my understanding, he was in the Father and the Father was in him. Therefore, they were one in thought, action, feeling, expression. Those were key aspects of divinity. This relationship was one of mutual indwelling with reciprocity and complete trust, as it should be. The teachings of the Christ are by far for me something to look up to. I believe in God, my Father, my mother, my lion, and I call him my lion because when I was little and I was very sad, I couldn't wait to go to bed or to be alone, because I would close my eyes and climb, and God for me was a lion. And I would climb on him and go through the galaxies, and I would tell him everything that I was going through, and I shared my feelings, and I have done this pretty much all of my life. I believe in Joshua, the Christ. I want to call him Joshua because that was his proper name, and Jesus is the name that we're calling him here in the Western, here. And I just like calling him Joshua because that is his name. And he's also my brother, my Savior. And as I mentioned before, I have questioned God's existence and have been shown throughout my life the presence of a being that demonstrated love to me and all those around me. So I feel that my Father, my God, is the source of all that is good in my life and in this world, the source of all that is good, benevolent, peaceful, abundant, beautiful, orderly, and much, much, much more. I could never deny the Spirit God, because it would be denying my own existence. And accepting the opposite of this would be accepting the darkness, the confusion, the chaos, the unforgiveness, the hatred of this world. It would be like cutting the roots of an ancient olive tree that held all the majesty with its strong branches, providing shade and beauty, while he stood all seasons as a sentinel of goodness. Then, after destroying the source of his being, that would be his roots. If I were to cut them, then would ask myself, why is he withering? God is the source of all goodness, all beauty, all truth. If we deny, disconnect from him, her, deliberately, then we close ourselves to the source that created us. This provides all goodness. So since I am an observer of life, we have light, we have night. So night and day, darkness, light, positive, negative. And we have consequences to all decisions that we make. So if we destroy the roots of our tree, our base, we disconnect from our true source, and we will experience the imbalance and receive consequences in those being of feeling empty, not really happy, fulfilled, and just living life like without any spiritual support that we could actually would be enjoying. So one day, years ago, I began searching for all of the teachings of the Christ. And when I was told in the middle of the night by Spirit, my Father, to leave the current religion I was living at the time, it was about 3 a.m. in the morning, and he was very assertive and very direct with me. I was told, I need for you to walk away from this church. Take your books, return them, and come and walk with me on a new journey. I was thrilled and asked, where to now, my Lord? Because I am like a kid, I'm an adventurer, kind of like Dora the Explorer, but in the spiritual sense. This was many years ago. I followed my heart and my instinct, and I have never looked back. I have woken from the dream. I have no regrets. On the contrary, I have woken from the dream, and now I understand the whys to many things. I have had many questions about this existence. Back in the year of 2000, I saw the movie The Matrix, and I have mentioned this to you before, and I'll never forget how great of an impression it made on me. It was so much that I went and saw it every day for a week. I took notes and would do research, and I remember how I could see the hidden symbolisms. I understood the message. Yes, it was a movie, but I have learned to read the language of the universe, the language of God, and listen to my own discernment through my dreams, my visions, through music, nature, movies, books, people, billboards, meditation. I experienced the language of this universe. I remember the first Matrix movie had such a powerful message for me. I immediately recognized that Neo was a metaphor for the Christ. He was referred to throughout the Matrix as the one, as the chosen one, both of whom are resurrected, and how he was seen as a Messiah to deliver the people, and how we are living on a matrix. And like the movie, everyone gets to choose what experiences they desire to play. The world we think exists is just a simulation. We exist. And the so-called machines are the powerful entities behind the scenes. And there's truth to that. This is a Maya, an illusion, like the ancient Vedas they taught. If we lazily take this world for what it seems to be, we're really fooling ourselves. Now, the idea that we can manipulate our reality was my favorite part of the movie. But I know many do not believe this, that this can be accomplished. And to remove or get out of the fog of the illusion is probably illogical for most. We are born into a world which partially socially constructed all our values, our goals, ideals, dogmas, belief systems. We're told where to paint, where to go, what's expected. You go to school these years, you learn, you pick what you want to do, but mostly it's like this pattern you need to follow. And if you walk away from that pattern, then you're not looked upon very nicely, because then you're a black sheep. Then you are judged, and many times misjudged, because people don't know what's inside your heart. So people are programmed for this world and will therefore never ask a lot of questions like, can this life be real? And some may not care if this is real. Just look at the situation today. I don't even need to tell you. Look at the world, each country with all of their challenges. The wars, the narco trafficking, the human trafficking, the teenage suicides, child abuse, wife abuse, husband abuse, lack of employment, unhappiness, depression, sicknesses, addictions, religion, division, health, homelessness, hunger, hatred, etc., etc., etc. Now, if this isn't reason enough to believe we live in the matrix, what is? I ask myself. And some will take the blue pill, resign themselves and stop asking questions, and give up and live a simulated reality. In other words, blissful ignorance. And you can do that, and many do. And others take the red pill and never stop asking questions, like me, and desire to find the meaning of it all and what lies behind the matrix, choosing to awake to the harsh truth of reality. It symbolizes a difficult yet a liberating journey, for here truth will set you free. In other words, enlightenment. So here in my findings, I have done research on Christ's teachings and have come to the conclusion for myself that Jesus, Joshua, came to earth to raise humanity's consciousness of the higher self, to teach that the kingdom of God is within you. Each one of us, living in this world, each one of us, to teach was the path to spiritual enlightenment by embodying love unconditional, love, wisdom, knowledge of the self, and that we can change, that we can transform our reality once you've awakened from this dream by having a renewal of what? Our minds. And then gain self-mastery, because it can be achieved. But much of his teachings were twisted, and churches were built and created on his name, and many atrocities were caused. If you look way back, the Spaniards, I can't even. One taught from the Roman times that the clergy were to maintain themselves pure in their eyes and abstain from marrying, and I never accepted that. Joshua was a man, yes, a holy man, but a man nevertheless. A Jewish man that at the time he lived, men were married and had families, but they instituted mandatory celibacy. And in my eyes, the reasoning made no sense. We all know the high content of child abuse within a church, an institution, and the secrecy and cover-up for decades, all to avoid scandals and to protect their image. So there's reason to believe that Joshua was wed, and there was a historical marriage between Joshua of Nazareth and the woman known as Mary Magdalene. Has become overwhelming. But there's no proof of such a marriage. Gnostic Gospels, the wisdom seekers, or Gnostics, who were an early branch of Christianity, In the Gnostic Gospel, the Gospel of Philip, it refers Mary Magdalene as Joshua's companion and describe a very close relationship between them. In the 4 canonical Gospels, plus the Gnostic Gospels, found in Mahamadi, Egypt, none of them say that Jesus was celibate. This may come as a shock to most people. The Gospel called Joshua Rabbi. Now this is in the Bible, in Matthew 26:49, in Mark 10:51, in John 20:16. Now rabbis then, as well as today, are married. If Joshua wasn't married, someone would have noticed. And when Joshua was being prepared at the tomb to prepare his body for burial, to anoint him with oils, that's in the Gospels in the Bible. Back then and now, no woman could touch the naked body of a dead rabbi unless he was family. Joshua had been whipped, beaten, and crucified. No woman would wash the blood, the sweat of his private parts, unless she was his wife. In the 4 canonical Gospels, it's never mentioned that Jesus was married again, and that there was no marital relationship within Mary Magdalene and Joshua of Nazareth. This is highly contested and a very controversial subject. Now, I myself have done research, and through my studies, also prayer, my dreams, my meditations, I have come to the conclusion that for myself, Joshua and Mary Magdalene were married. In the Gnostic Gospel, the Gospel of Philip in this text is frequently cited that in discussions of a potential marriage, because of his mention of Joshua kissing Mary Magdalene frequently, suggesting a deep, intimate relationship. It refers to her as Joshua's koinonos. This is a Greek term that means companion or partner. However, this is generally interpreted in a spiritual, not a marital sense by most scholars. So the bottom line is this: it is not supported by historical evidence, but I'm not a logical person, and I follow the promptings of my heart and spirit. And since I have coherence between my mind and my heart, I am understanding the bigger picture. Joshua came to this world to offer a path of liberation from this simulation, this matrix, this illusion. He came as a divine emissary of the Creator to impart and to share spiritual knowledge and to awaken humanity to their own inherent divinity. Now, since we live in a world with various religions all over the face of the earth, and there's also a percentage of non-believers, and some don't care either way, for me as an observer, as I've mentioned before, I've become responsible for my own beliefs, my own belief system, or many of my experiences I cannot explain, for they are supernatural, spiritual, and I am not, like I've said before, I'm not better than anyone. And not everyday occurrences where it's like the normal thing. Now I understand that I am living in this world and know with assurance that I am not of it. My origins are from the stars, the vast and great cosmos, and I am a spirit living within a human form. And this I know through my meditations and my prayers, my dreams, and also through the visions that I've had for many years now. And I was asked by the great Creator of the universes and heavens to work for Him. This is why I'm here. This is why I make these videos. I don't belong to any church, nor will I ever. The great Almighty for me, many may not understand nor accept this, and that's okay. But I must live my truth, for my Father is my boss. in other words, and I only answer to Him. I have a purpose, and that is to share my experiences with Spirit and to convey the importance of your lives and how you lived them. You are precious. All of you are precious to this Creator. None is better than the other. He is both a father and mother together with Mother Earth, the one who holds us in her embrace. You know that if the gravity disappeared, have you ever thought what would happen? If it stopped, we would all cease to exist. For as the planet's internal pressure causes it to explode, and the atmosphere will rapidly and violently be ejected into space and would vanish, we would vanish in an instant, and things would be flying around. So destruction would be imminent. Now I thought, we are being kept in a safe round sphere of a circumference called Earth. We are lovingly being kept. We are guests in this planet, and I feel that we are only guests here. And in my eyes, I can only speak for myself, for I am only responsible for myself, and I owe my Creator the respect, the love, the loyalty, and the gratitude, the immense gratitude that I feel for living in this world, in this planet called Earth, my Pachamama. I feel that I should do all to explore and experience my soul by my consciousness to grow and expand to the max, so to find answers and become the best part of myself, to serve humanity and represent my Creator, my God, my beloved Father, my Abba, to help bring more love and enlightenment to this world, for I feel that truth will set us all free. I know that I am a multidimensional being. I have found and have seen myself. I am living this experience right here as I speak to you, and I have, in my mind, I have been somewhere else. I have been driving in a car, and I was transported to another country across the ocean. So I was living two moments within one moment. I have traveled and been with one of my children, in fact, two of them, and I have had this experience several times. And God has shown me that we are tridimensional. We have more power than we can even fathom. I have a firm foundation in my truth and straight connection with the higher spheres. I seek the truth. This is something that was, I believe, embedded in me as I was brought into creation. And I was told by God, when I have cried unto Him and when I felt very, very, I will say dumb, because I felt dumb when I was in high school and I could not understand math. I don't know if you understand when I say this. I have had a love and hate relationship with math because numbers never made sense to me. And I wanted to understand. And I am the type of person that when there's a problem, I always try and I find a solution. If something breaks, I try to fix it. If I can't do it myself, then I'll ask for help. But I mostly do things by myself. I truly believe that the kingdom of God is within me. And kind of like Mary Poppins, that she would go into the bag and bring all the things that she wanted out. So I am taught through movies, like I've told you. The universe speaks to me. And I'm shown that we are gods and goddesses, that we walk on this planet not knowing the origins of ourselves. And I know there's behind the curtains, behind the elite, the people that are above, the powerful men of the world. There's a lot more that you guys don't know. And there's things that are hidden from humanity from eons ago so that they can keep you encaged, so that you do not open your mind, and transform your mind to the truth of who you are. What are you? I cannot tell you what you are. I can only tell and express and share my findings, what I am discovering for me. And this is being attained through the love, dedication, and my curiosity, my childlike curiosity, because I am a mother, both a mother and a grandmother, but I will never be an adult. I maintain, and I have maintained with such gratitude, my childlike spirit. And I love my childlike spirit because it guides me to the most beautiful experiences. You guys have no idea what you guys have within you. And all you have to do is search, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open unto you. But believe, and don't believe nothing I say. Find for yourselves. Find your truth. It's not out there. It's in here. Seek the truth within yourselves. Yes. Ask for assistance. Yes. We are surrounded by spirit, and our spiritual guides, our ancestors, our guides, our angels. Remember, you can free yourselves. You can become all you desire to be. Nothing is impossible for God. With God, you can accomplish all things. And I have this, I'll share with you. I have in a special place I keep, and it's not in this world. I keep a jar of dreams. And this is where I've done this since I was a little girl. And sometimes I don't even know, my own child spirit places them there. I have so many things that I want to share with you, with this world. It's kind of like, when there's let me think, a volcano, and the volcano is working itself up, and it starts, a little bubble starts coming up, and there's commotion and things coming out, and all of a sudden they can't take any more of the pressure, and it goes up and it explodes. This is how I feel inside, because sometimes I have so much love, and I know that many don't understand me, and even in my own family, but it's okay. And I am, like I said, I'm not better than anyone, and I'm not here to do anything but to guide you to your own selves, to your own love, to your own child-like presence. If you are lost out there, if you don't know what to do, turn inwards. Be grateful for everything. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for the spot where you're at. You may be living in a beautiful mansion, but it might be empty. It might not have love. The walls are empty and austere. Everything is cold. Because you know what brings love into four walls is the love you carry. And the knowing that you are not alone. I've been alone for 4 years. In this position God has given me, He placed me here. I will tell you the story. I've told you before, but I will mention it again. My mother passed away over 5 years ago. And my mother, I was her caretaker full time, as I was my father's. I didn't have a lot of savings. I only had a couple of $1,000 in the bank. And I wasn't working because I worked at home, and I did things at home, like I put tile in the kitchen with some friends, and I did the tile downstairs in the bathroom. I painted the walls. We created a new wall and between the kitchen and the hallway, and I work in the garden. I had a beautiful garden. So I was like 24/7 working. My mother passed away, and then I have a daughter that needed to move in with us. She was going through a divorce with her 4 little children, and my mother asked her to move in with us right before my mother passed away. Well, let me tell you, so I was preparing all these things. But then when my mother passed away, the 4th of July, I was very, I didn't know what to do. I said, what am I going to do now? I don't have so much money. And I mean, I'm not a young chick anymore that I can just go and get a job anywhere. And I became a little afraid. So something told me to go to the garden. So I went to the garden. And when I was in the garden, I remember that I got emotional and tears started to come. But then immediately I stood back and I said, no. And then in my mind, I heard the voice, whose daughter are you? Whose daughter are you? And I was, oh, my father, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I felt right here, like this, patting. I got you. I've got you. And I said, okay, I'm not going to worry. And then I started laughing and singing and went back into the house. And days passed. We buried our mother, had to get rid of the things and everything that happens after someone passes away. Okay. I had a friend that was very close to to my mom. Her husband, he was her teacher. They were from Brazil. And he taught my mother the classical guitar. This lady called me at 6 in the morning one day and said, Vivian, I have something for you. And I was surprised that she called me so early. So I thought maybe there was something wrong. And she said, no, I have a job for you. And I said, Tava, I'm not looking for work. And I wasn't, truly. Then she says to me, no, but you have to come. I made an appointment today. And I thought, oh my goodness, how rude. She didn't even converse with me. She didn't tell me anything. She just went and took it upon herself and made an appointment for me without asking me. And she continued telling me all this, and I had no idea what this was about. Then she says to me, but it's not from me. It's from God. It's Dios. She speaks Portuguese. So I just said, okay, God hasn't told me. I'm sorry, but you need to cancel. So I had to let her go. So I did that. And then the hours passed. This appointment was at 5. And it was probably around, 11, 12. And I needed to take a recipe to a friend of mine, my dear friend, the nurse, my sweet friend that passed away, one of my best friends. A recipe that my mother had promised to give to her, and I had it for her. So I went to her house and I told her what had happened with this other lady. And my friend Debbie had always carried her cell here in her breast and had another cell in the back of her butt in her jeans. And then she said, so what's that address? What is this really for? And then I explained to her. She took her phone and I didn't realize. And she goes, where is that at? And I looked at my phone and said, I think this is the address. Not paying attention what she was doing, because I told her, I said, my GPS is not working. I don't know what's going on, but I can't get it to work. So she hands me the phone and says to me, you need to go. I said, what? What? You need to go. And then I said, why? Why do you? I'm not going. I've already canceled with her. She says, Vivi, this is from the man upstairs. He's sending you there. You need to go there. You need to go. So this is the second time that someone says, the God's sending me. So that's okay, because you know me, how I get messages. She hands me the phone and says, here, take my phone. Who does that? Gives you your personal phone. So I took the phone and I thought, okay, there's something going on here. So I parked my car on the side of the road. And of course I became quiet and I said, okay, I've gotten 2 messages by now. And for me, When it's a number 3, then I know that it's going to be from you. And I'm going to be quiet and quiet myself. And I did. And I just waited. I must have been sitting there for about 10, 15 minutes when I felt this overwhelming feeling of peace. And when I say overwhelming, was because it was a warmth. It was like, and it reminded me, what did I tell you? What did I say to you? I've got you. That was enough for me. Thank you, Father. So I went to that appointment, and the young little gal that I met, she's blind, deaf, and mute. She's been diagnosed with something called infantile Refsum's disease, but it's not that. It's more complicated than that. She's been close to death many times, and I know I've saved her life several times the last 4 years that I've been here. He brought me here. I have a relationship with her family like they're my own family. The day I met her father, he felt like an old brother from another mother. No joke. And I've taken little Seattle with me on trips. We've gone to Washington for a whole month on a vacation. I took her to see the horses. When my sister, she lives up there in Kennewick. And then I took her to South America for a whole month. We went to Curico, this beautiful place, to visit my friend. And we have other trips planned. And so my life is very fulfilled. I am guided. I am shown many things. And I can only tell you, truth is the truth that's in here, in your heart. And if you are happy where you're at, then wonderful. Continue that and continue to be happy. If you have questions, ask. Ask. My questions are answered. You will free yourself from whatever situation you may be, and there's absolutely nothing that's impossible. I know this. God has given us, each one of us, a mind, and this is our greatest tool. Because in this mind, when you, like I've told you, you create with your heart and mind coherence, these two elements, when you unite them, you're not unstoppable. And God is with you 24/7. Well, I'm happy that I could be here with you. I send you my love, my blessings, and whatever you may be going through in life, whatever it may be, don't be afraid. Don't lose hope. There is someone that cares about you like you have no idea, even to the most minuscule thing. The most minuscule thing, try him. Say, hey, that lady says all this BS and da. I've been told one time someone said to me, nah, it's a bunch of BS. For them, it's BS. It's okay. It's okay. But there's answers. Everything has a reason for being. There's reason for me standing here telling you this. Regardless of what you may think of me, I only have a few people. I have, I think, 29 subscribers. And I thank you for subscribing. And if you continue watching, bless you. If there's anything I can give you, I give you my time, my love, my unconditional love. And I see you as my brethren. I am not insulting any religion. Everybody has to be where they are at until they no longer have to be where they're at. If they need to move, then you move. If you want to stay, you stay. If you want to seek and further and expand your mind, that you can do too. And you decide which pill you want to take. Do you want to be in blissful ignorance, or do you want to be in truth, your truth, and be a warrior? And I send you my love, my beautiful soul family. I love you and have a wonderful, wonderful week. And my favorite season's approaching. I love Christmas. And you know what? My birthday's coming up. I normally don't say that. I don't know why I said that, but it's like I am so grateful and I love the years that come and how they pass. I'm not going to tell you how young I am, but you know what? My heart, it's like the heart of a 16-year-old young girl. And my vitality, my energy, it boggles my mind. And I'm like an 18-year-old. You're a young girl. And I know, yeah, I won't say anymore. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful week. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And enjoy your families, enjoy your lives, and I love you. Bye.